Hello, my name is Pulkit. I'm one of the co-founders of Chameleon, and I'm really excited about telling you more about Chameleon's new AI agent, Chameleon's Copilot. It's solving something that I think I've been struggling with for maybe 10 years. And in so many cases, I've repeated the same information to customers and prospects and helping them build high quality user experiences. Our goal at Chameleon is to enable customers to build really high quality, dynamic, personalized in-app user experiences that help users find aha moments, help them engage with the great functionality and products that you've built, and in that way help drive retention, conversion, etc., and value for your business. So let me introduce Chameleon's Copilot and tell you what we've been working on for such a while. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so Chameleon has built this UX agent that protects users from your best intentions. Let me tell you more about that. And here's a quote from one of our customers that have been using it. It really did exceed their expectations, got really far, and they wanted to use it straight away. So I've seen that so many users end up dismissing onboarding walkthroughs. I once ran a poll amongst product managers and I asked them, how many of you exit on the first step? And an overwhelming number, 91%, said they did, which means that the product managers that maybe are responsible for onboarding users and potentially building in apps were actually exiting really early on the first step before they even began. So why is that? And I think it's actually not because people don't know what good user experience is or best practices sometimes, it's that they really care so much and that can be counterproductive. We're desperately excited to show off our product, but it can be annoying. We get caught in the feature pride trap. Sometimes we have limitations in the tools, like some of our competitors or the traditional platforms made it easy to ship something, but it's not really high quality, high bar. They don't give you opinions and perspectives or coach you on how to ship well. You didn't always have access to customer success folks that could coach you or help you, and sometimes they themselves weren't super skilled. And often we provide a little personalization. When we're creating these in-app experiences, we're in the mode of one size fits all, but really users want individual user experience. That's why chat-based applications are so good, because it's so individual and so personal. So these are just the natural trends and conditions that made it difficult for us to create really great quality experiences. And so we've built Copilot, and it's an agent that looks to build good experiences. It has context, taste, and skills. So by context, it knows about your product. So as soon as an account is created in Chameleon, it goes and researches what is it that your product does, who are the personas, what are their jobs to be done, what is the tone of voice in your materials. And so it has that context. If you're an existing Chameleon customer, it also has the context of experiences you've created, the types of URL rules that you set up, your styling guides, etc. It has taste. So it's trained on lots of user interactions from our 10 years of history, which is this rich and unique data set that we have on what works and doesn't work. And it's trained also on best practices from designers and across the web. So it has that taste, and it's been coached to leverage that taste and be opinionated. And then it has a bunch of skills. Those skills are not just writing copy, but actually creating experiences with buttons and dismisses and multi-step and microsurveys. And it also has skills to analyze existing data, and it has skills to create a theme. So it has lots of different skills that make it comprehensive. And it's not just the basic walkthrough generator. Some of the other variants we see build those old style multi-step walkthroughs. That is only one type of experience, and sometimes that's helpful, especially if a user's taking that on demand. But often what's better is for a user to see a resource center, or for a user to have embedded experiences, which Chameleon offers. These live inline on your page. So you can have an inline banner or a card or a tile or a set of tiles. And these are non-intrusive by nature. They're on demand by nature. So it doesn't interrupt or risk invading the customer experience, and leads to much better engagement. So Chameleon has embeddables. Our Copilot does build those embeddables, not just the old school patterns. Other tools may just convert blindly, like, hey, this is what I want to create, go create it. But Copilot looks to actually give you pushback on bad patterns and coaches you. It's like, hey, this is what works better. What about this? Now you can't override it, but really it's going to help you think it through. It also has a planning skill. So before you even get to creation, you can start with a problem like, hey, we're not driving sufficient engagement for our new users. And it will help you think through what might be the personas and the different kinds of engagement those different personas might need, and then help you build those. I think other tools we've seen are just kind of more of an evolution. AI can already write good copy, can already convert some simple things. For us, I think we're trying to really step up and do something different, go from something that's basic to something really advanced without just a simple evolution. So hopefully you'll try it and you'll get to see how revolutionary it is. And it's got skills that also include audience creation, trying to find the right audience based on all of the attributes and other data about users you're sending. It can help you identify which is the right group of people to see this experience. Let's keep going. Sometimes there's a question of should you even use a third-party tool, Copilot or no Copilot? And there is an argument for native. You want it to be part of the product, not bolted on top. It should be seamless. It should look native. You should have full control, which makes sense. And we think you can achieve that with Chameleon without the challenges that you encounter when trying to focus on in-house, which is that you have these solutions, they don't get prioritized. So it's always a bit slower than you'd like. You always get bottlenecked. You have to reduce scope of what you want to create. It's harder to iterate because it's low priority versus shipping functionality. So in-house can be great as a starting point, but then often you realize that you get to a plateau or a bottleneck really quickly. If you want to keep investing, and it is really important to keep iterating and improving, then it can be helpful to have a third party. We also note that in-house solutions typically can look good, but they don't get tested. They don't get A/B tested. They don't get personalized or variables created. So it can be a little static. And that's okay if you just are doing it for the motions, like we have to announce it. But if you are at a place where you really want to drive feature adoption, discovery, we know that product usage drives retention, then it can be worth investing in something that's dedicated. So let's look a little bit around some of the things that Copilot can do. I'll show you some around planning mode, quick create, analysis, some customization, and to give you a flavor of what's possible. Okay, so here's Copilot. It's a Copilot page in your Chameleon dashboard. And in here, you can start with any prompt of what you want to create or analyze or what you want to learn more about. You can mention any existing Chameleon experience if you want to reference that. And if you don't know where to begin, we have all of these starter prompts that can give you a way to begin for different use cases. These are often the common use cases that customers are using for Chameleon. So you can start there. Here's a couple examples of ones I did earlier, or someone on my team wanted to help use Copilot to launch Copilot. So that's kind of meta. And in this, what we see is that it really did a research and it understood, both the goal, for example, it signals innovation and leadership in AI, reinforces Chameleon's position as a next-gen digital adoption platform. So it kind of, knows what Chameleon is about, helping us launch this. And it created multiple experiences, not just a single experience. And so, if we click into here, here's the experiences it created, including a feedback survey. So I think this is an idea of using it for planning and for creating these experiences with very, very limited inputs. If you don't want the planning and the strategization, you can also jump straight to just help me create this thing. And it did, because I wanted to walk through every Chameleon feature, all of the Chameleon features, but it knew that for best practices, we don't want to create a really long walkthrough. And so it encouraged me to it created a small one, encouraged me to break it down into additional tours. And then I can go and layer on and add additional expected, things, including setting goals. It will know about the events that I'm tracking in already, my URL rules. So we can kind of layer on additional experiences, which is really powerful.
Another great thing you can do is also analyze any existing experiences. You can do that by simply mentioning the experience from Copilot or going to an individual experience and then clicking Analyze with Copilot. And it gives you a summary of metrics, what's working well, things of concern, trends, and importantly, the ability to improve this experience. So if you like what you see or you can discuss more of it, you can just simply ask it to make updates and it will actually update your existing experience. It's a great way if you have lots of Chameleon experiences live, especially from your homepage. You can go to the leaderboard, look at ones that are maybe not getting much completion and look to improve that. So easy way to go through and make significant enhancements. You can also do things like create new audiences using conversation. So you don't have to know all of the attributes you're sending or all of the data associated with your account. You can simply say what you want to create and then Copilot will scan all of the data available and create the best audience using that data. And you can customize our AI functionality. This is, I think, really powerful because you get to see what context it has about the company and product. This research is conducted at the beginning when your account is created, but you may want to adapt it. Similarly with tone of voice, you can make changes as well as give any additional instructions to the campaigns that are created or segment builder, etc., etc. And we have some exciting fun things coming soon as well on this. Lots more information about Copilot available on our website, chameleon.io. We have this blog post that talk about some of the ways that you can use it and the differences and the value of it. So check it out. Excited to get feedback. And there's lots of improvements coming. So we'll keep you posted on that. Some questions that we hear about, what does it actually know? Well, like I mentioned, it knows about your product. As it does that research, it knows about your competitors, key feature sets, personas, jobs to be done. So lots of information of context around what you're trying to accomplish, the different types of users you might have. It knows about tone of voice, just looking at the content that on your website and others. It knows your account data in Chameleon. If you have Chameleon installed already, you've created additional experiences, your audiences, your URL rules, etc. And it knows about Chameleon as a product, the functionality, it knows about pricing, etc. So you can ask it, general questions, and we're going to continue to improve that. Well, how is this different from GPT? Of course, GPT is great at giving content, copy. It helps you analyze things. You have to obviously put that context into the thread. This already has the context, and it can translate not just like suggestions, but actually go and build things for you, which is great because then you're much closer to going live from that. So it's kind of built in. We're using OpenAI's models for this, so it is pretty good, and we've kind of got a lot of prompt engineering and tooling and content behind and context behind it. How much setup is required? Well, if you're already a Chameleon customer, pretty much none. If you aren't a Chameleon customer, then to enable Chameleon, you can definitely try it without any installation or credit card if you just want to play around with it. But if you want to publish experiences live to your users, you need to install Chameleon into your web application. You can do that no code through something like segment.com, or you can do that with a simple JavaScript code snippet. As part of that installation, you'll also tell us which user is loading the page, so that when someone is loading the page for you and Chameleon is installed, Chameleon knows whether to show them the relevant experience or not. So relatively quick, can be minutes to set that up. And then once you're building things, can you override it? Yes, you can, because it's built on the foundation of Chameleon with all of the existing Chameleon tools to make tweaks and edit things. You can actually go and click into any experience and make a customization or adjustment. You don't have to only use chat to edit, and it's not a separate set of experiences that are built just with chat. It's part of your core Chameleon experience, and that's why you can even improve any existing experiences with Copilot. It's a powerful layer to use. Coming next, we're excited to continue making improvements. We're taking feedback from customers. We're going to keep tuning things and adding more skills and prompts. But one of the big things I'm excited about is debug mode, where if you are confused by what something didn't show up for a specific user or something might be going wrong, you can ask Copilot and it will analyze the Chameleon experience. It might ask you to run a debug console command and use that output to know specifically what happened on the page or who you are as a user to help you analyze it, which should significantly 10x speed up how quickly you can get access to troubleshooting. It can also remove the back and forth with our support team and make you much more self-service and proficient. So I'm really excited about that debug skill coming soon, and for Copilot to keep evolving. We'd love feedback. So if you want to give us some feedback, we'd happy to schedule some time with you live. We're also analyzing individual conversations to see where things have gone wrong or what people expect. So yeah, that's it. 10 years of learning, data, context, experience has been encoded into this agent that's really specifically built for in-app experiences and is designed to help you create the best versions of these. So we think this can unlock real value, real retention, real high quality engagement with your users, something that wasn't possible before, something that often isn't possible with other platforms today. So try it. If you have a Chameleon account, go try it. It's free. If you don't have a Chameleon account, you can definitely create one at chameleon.io, or you can book a demo if you just want to do some exploration and learn about the differences, learn about functionality, learn about how we prioritize governance, etc. So talk to us. We're a very friendly team. For more information, follow me, Pulkit Agrawal, or Chameleon on LinkedIn for updates in a more passive way. And I hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.